What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today. We're doing another sort of experiment on the channel. We're going to be doing a career simulation of Joe Burrow, not a re-simulation because obviously it's just in the beginning of his career. And I think tomorrow we'll be doing a re-simulation of Matthew Stafford. Not that he's done yet, but obviously a lot more years in the league. And more importantly, we can see what has happened with the Rams and him when he's finally on a decent team, gets to the freaking Super Bowl. So what could maybe have happened if, he would have been on a better team throughout his career? Now, I will say he's been good, but he's not just been like otherworldly good for the Rams. The Rams as a whole are pretty good. I mean, we've seen Jared Goff got taken to the Super Bowl with them. So I'm not saying that Stafford's done everything, but he's been good enough, obviously. And I'm curious to see if maybe he can win multiple. We'll see one of these two teams, obviously. You're going to have a Super Bowl win soon, a couple days from now. But we're going to take a look at what Joe Burrow's career, at least according to Madden, is potentially going to shape up to be. Obviously, very young already in his first Super Bowl. Pretty big, accomplishment just in general. But considering, the offensive line play, pretty good stuff. They've got holes, but anything can happen. Obviously, we'll see what happens here, but as far as what happens in Madden Sim, I don't know. This team is a little bit lower on the overall side, so what will happen, we're about to find out. Of course, if you guys like these types of videos, we haven't really done a whole lot of them this year. Maybe leave a like and subscribe. Makes me, I wouldn't say motivates me to do more, but at least lets me know you guys want to see more of them. It's like, motivates me. Like, I'm not going to upload ever again because you guys didn't want this video. It's like, whatever. But yeah, speaking of other things, maybe twitch.tv/Jeromepkr. Maybe give a follow as we're likely going to be live around 10 p.m. Central Standard Time tonight. Probably Superstar KO and then non-Madden. Probably going to leave Raiders franchise till maybe after the Super Bowl or something like that Sunday. But yeah, enough of that. We're going to see how Joe Burrow's career is going to end. I said at first, according to Madden, nope, 100%. This is exactly what's going to happen in real life. 100%, obviously. Down to the last yard. But Super Bowl win. The Bengals win the Super Bowl here. Joe Burrow has a ring. He automatically has a ring, and you can't hate him. I don't know if anyone really does, but looking at these numbers, Joe Burrow was pretty good in the Super Bowl. 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Mixon was pretty decent himself. Chase, pretty good. Boyd, where was Mixon? I think Joe Mixon would have been Super Bowl MVP, though. 3 touchdowns is hard to pass, especially when your quarterback only has 2. I mean, if they didn't give Joe Mixon the MVP there, yeah, there needs to be a review on the committee for a couple of these MVP situations. But even though it seems pretty obvious, in case you are new to this series, we're going to just be following Joe Burrow's career, see where he ends up. Maybe he leaves the Bengals in a couple of years in real life or in the game. Who knows? And as far as re-signings goes, that goes to the AI's free agent signings. That's the AI. Draft picks, that's the AI. I don't want to have any sort of influence. We're just here to monitor. This is basically like bondage, or not cuckold. It is. We're a cuck. Okay, that's literally it. Where is Cincinnati's cap room? Is this why it's hard to trade with teams, because they give themselves no room at all? Corbett, interesting. Receivers are pretty much the same. I don't know I think Boyd's the number 3, right? I think he plays the slot for them. I think, right? Devondre, okay, I can see that's kind of an expensive one. Ogba, completely unnecessary. Darius Williams, completely unnecessary. Okay, I mean, there's some name. Malik Reed, who's, I'm pretty sure, an edge rusher. Isn't he what? Okay, yeah, I'm sure. All right, so thankfully he won the Super Bowl out the gate because, not looking good so far down the line. I'm going to be honest with you, but hey, it's the Bengals. It's their job. Of course, a lot of those signings were probably 1 to 2 year deals. I think Ogba's like a 2 to 3. I mean, he's superstar at least. Ogba's actually pretty good in sim at least, so I guess, it could have had some worse options. Draft recap, of course, we went with a real-life class. Let's see what they went with. So they go with an outside linebacker, which, once again, kind of defeats the purpose. He's an edge rusher, though. So do I put him at left end? I guess we put him at left end. I also don't know if I did get a real class superstar. Nice. No, I put a real class on, but I don't know if it was in time, maybe? No, it was. I don't remember seeing any of these names. Okay, well, they got a left tackle they needed. Probably didn't need him specifically. Safety, didn't really need it. I'm surprised it's a third-round pick. Left guard, needed it. Not good, though. Fullback, needed it. Not bad, but a little early. Strong safety, and then tight end. I mean, it's a really good lineman, or pass rusher, I suppose, but that's like kind of it. How did the kind of first round go? Yeah, fair enough. Playoffs, baby. Let's see it. 10-7. All right. I mean, I'm a little surprised, to be honest, because once again, in Madden, not the greatest roster. Definitely not the greatest roster, and had a really bad offseason outside of that left end that they didn't even start. Joe Burrow, though, good numbers. Joe Mixon, pretty good numbers. Boyd was the number one. All right, looks like I'm going to have to go in and like manually adjust things because they had Boyd apparently the number one guy. Ogba was worth the money. Trey Hendrickson in the game, not worth the money in real life. I mean, I'd say it was a positive. I'd say it's a positive. Like people, like he had a couple of iffy performances in the playoffs, but like people are like trying to dog him, say, "Oh, yeah, really worth the money, huh?" It's like, okay, I mean, yeah, still probably. I mean, wasn't that bad of a deal for an edge rusher, and you know, from what people are trying to say that he was just a complete product of his environment. Sure as hell looked better than a just, you know, complete product of his environment, right? But here we are at the Bengals against the Colts, a chance to repeat, and the chance is still alive, but this is a tough one. Going against the Browns, not easy. They still move along, going up against the Raiders, and they lose. The reason why I'm really mad at that is because I forgot, well, I didn't really forget, but I just didn't go in to the Bengals-Rams Super Bowl, and I really wanted to. I don't know why, I just, like, passed my mind that I guess that kind of means you forgot, pal. That's if you didn't remember, you know. But the Raiders win over the Giants. An interesting matchup. I guess maybe the Raiders, but the Giants, I mean, who do they trade for? I didn't look at free agency, but it must have been someone good. But obviously, a close game against the Raiders, who did just win the Super Bowl. So not a back-to-back, but still a very good performance. Bengals fans would definitely be feeling pretty happy with themselves. Max Crosby, Mullen with an interception. Obviously, it would still suck, but you'd still be like, hey, as a Bengals fan, it could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse, but let's go to the draft again. I mean, I'm not doing anything for the team, so there's no point in me like looking at different things because I can't influence it. The only thing I can influence is the roster, the depth chart. I can't do anything, but you know, that whole roster, I'm gonna do it all, but. Yeah, I got to change up the roster a little bit because the depth chart, anyways, I keep saying roster because Jamar Chase is pretty obviously the number one around there, so we got to make sure that at least that's correct. You know, the other things like defense and whatnot, I'm not going to worry about too much, but 10 mil, so I'm not sure who they got rid of, but it's slightly better than last year when they spent a ton of money on players they kind of didn't really need. At least, once again, Ogba played well as we kind of expected. Maybe even went to X Factor. It was a pretty good season. Didn't really pay attention to the devs, but not going to try to talk too much in between going forward. Just, you know, it's kind of early on. I like to talk about the things, but once you get going, it usually isn't. So wide receiver, a guy named Boyd, a taller guy who's slow. Did they just, like, let T. Higgins go? Because that sure as hell looks like what they just drafted. They drafted another T. Higgins. Trade T. Higgins to the Packers for a first-round pick, maybe, I guess. That's the plan. Because you just didn't need this guy unless you're going to play him at tight end, which, you know, I'm just saying. Isaiah Small, another hidden development trait guy. This guy is kind of like a run stopper, but also another pass rush type. I'm going to leave him play in the coverage spot or the run stopper spot because he's built a little bit more for that. But once again, these drafts, it just really doesn't make sense for what the team needs. So I'm not really sure what the story is here, but 3 wide receivers on a very good wide receiving group. Quarterback in the 7th, that really doesn't mean anything, so I'm not really worried about that. Like, you know, teams could use a backup quarterback. A 7th-round quarterback means absolutely nothing, especially if he's good. It means more than nothing. It's, like, good. But let's take a look at potential dev-ups, see what potential players they lost. Maybe Boyd needed a contract to let him go. Is that what happened? I guess we'll never find out. Nope, quite the opposite. Boyd actually went to superstar. How old is he, though? Yeah, okay, fair enough. He is 28, so obviously T. Higgins going to be the number 2. I like that he's, Boyd went to superstar, but doesn't really matter. And hey, speaking of, it is pretty good. Paul Brenner. Interesting stuff as he goes to, well, doesn't go anywhere. He's hidden. See what his dev is. It's almost guaranteed to be star, but I'm curious. It is star, number 11. Fair enough. So now their quarterbacks are 9-11. Way to go, EA. Really did one. Ertz is the starting tight end. Not really sure how that improves the team too much. Poyer's on the team. I guess that's okay, but Von Bell... Man, this is just like... Could we not? Like, the money is just being spent so poorly here, dude. It's just so bad. But I can't really do anything about it. It's not my show to run. And 9-8. This is what happens when you constantly spend poorly in free agency. And I wouldn't say they did really badly with like rookies, but definitely could have been better position groups. Definitely offensive lineman-wise specifically. Joe Burrow, though, still playing well. Joe Mixon, even better. Jamar Chase, though, as the number 1, played worse than Boyd. I don't know how that happens. Not sure how did he actually... Maybe it was because Boyd was number 2 in number 1 slot rather than 1 and 1. I really don't know. Maybe just the slot in... I'm not sure, but Trey Hendrickson plays well. Ogba doesn't. Interceptions, 4 for Logan Wilson. Evan McPherson with a pretty good season, but not really much to show as, obviously, no playoffs. Some good performances, but I can't really imagine any of those guys. Maybe Mixon would have won anything, and it really doesn't change anything because, once again, we're just simming. So, I'm not upgrading. I mean, the AIs are upgrading, but I'm not, making plays or anything like that. Steelers win the Super Bowl over the Rams. Do they grab a QB? Baker Mayfield. This division is, it's quite something, I'll tell you. It's an interesting division, right? The Bengals are down to under $1 million in cap room. Once again, that is a very common thing in Sim, so it's not like we're overly worried, but still, it's just, why don't they save a little bit of money? And considering how much money you get for Madden this year, it seems like you can pretty much keep everyone. So I don't know how this team is going broke. They're just making some poor decisions, I guess. But another wide receiver. Once again, I don't know what they maybe lost in or to free agency this year. A bust corner, Forrest Waters. I mean, you gotta bring a lot of water if you want to get him developed, I guess. But Ben Delgado seems good. I don't know what his development rate is, but he's at least hidden. And everything else just kind of sucks. I imagine. Once again, it could have been a sneaky one in there, but sheesh, dude. I'm not saying I want Joe to leave already, because, but, like, don't. Joe Burrow is a superstar. I don't know when that would have happened, if it was this year or the year before. It was this year, so fair enough. Actually, how many years have we? No, it is, like, multiple years, isn't it? Jamar Chase, everything's pretty much the same. The new Boyd is the number 3, so fair enough with that. You can, you really like the stock, and that doesn't make sense, actually, because he's literally built like Higgins. You don't want too many Higgins, man. Hey, Higgins, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you, but, they've got enough of you. You're enough. So maybe you agree. Alec Ingold was signed. Ertz is still here. The O-line has not been improved. Oh, Barch with a super big face screen pick. They really freaking did him dirty by zooming him in, basically. And then offensively, Logan Wilson here is a superstar X Factor, but he's 28. And then, Hilton's a superstar, but I don't know. You're not really getting much here. Ogba was pretty bad, so I'm actually going to start this guy. I think he would get the start, even though Ogba, for whatever money they spent, is still here. How much was it? Okay. It's probably the last year on the deal anyways, but just helping them out in any way it can. They're not going to start, why would you start Shelvin when he's literally worse than Delgado already? Like, they're both the same overall, but obviously one's hidden, the other isn't, and one's older and the other one isn't. But yeah, some interesting calls by the Bengals front office so far. Back in the playoffs, though. Number 2 in the division, which, it's a tough division, so what can you say? Tyler Huntley. Where the hell did he go? Joe Burrow, not great, but the touchdown-to-pick ratio is still good. Joe Mixon's killing it again. Jamar is looking pretty good, maybe even X-Factor good. T. Higgins is pretty good. Boyd and Ertz were iffy, but Boyd, he's like a tall guy that's slow on a team already having a tall guy that's slow. So, like, what can you really expect? All right, in the pass rush, picks were pretty good, and then McPherson, pretty good stuff as well. But, once again, not really a reason to take a look at the awards as decent performances. Doubt there would have been any wins. And speaking about it, without any wins, the Patriots, unfortunately, take us out instantaneously. A little bit of a lackluster season there, considering, but Cardinals, Chiefs would have had to play the Chiefs anyways. Tough team. Well, obviously, this team knows as well. And the Chiefs do win, so they're, I mean, pretty happy that... Wait, did they? Okay. But, yeah, this team would still like their chances, right, obviously. But let's see the draft. 31 million cap as well. That could be a nice little reload, unless they didn't sign Burrow. Then it doesn't matter to us. But I imagine the AI is probably going to be re-signing their quarterback every time, at least for their rookie year. So I imagine we're still going to be on the Bengals train here. And they have 2 million cap, so they definitely spent it. We'll see if they did well with spending it, though. And now they're negative. Even better. Let's see. Do they have a good draft for once? Ooh, 77 overall, outside linebacker. That's a pure pass rusher, but... Once again, I don't know why they're going for so many pass rushers. Maybe they actually got rid of Trey Hendrickson. I think this would be about the time. I think he's on like a 4-year deal with this man being star. I'm going to put him at right end because I imagine, you know, that's what they need a little bit more than left end because of the superstar sitting there already. Another DT, this time normal dev. Not bad, though. Dual style as well, pretty good. But a left tackle, like, why are we taking so long here to draft a lineman? You know, where's the, like, second or third round lineman at least? You know, maybe it didn't really work out in real life so far for them, but at least attempt. You got to at least give it a go for the line, unless they spent some on O-line, which I just highly doubt. All right, the team may have changed up a little bit because of, once again, that cap spending. What did they do? Offensively, they did go for a center. Linder's obviously, like, at the end of his career here, but still, they went for a center, at least. Defensively, any new names? Judot. Bruh, it's the wrong freaking scheme. What are you doing? It's not even the right scheme. 10 mil for him? Come on, brother. What do we need this man for? Of course, Trey Hendrickson does go to star, and Wright will be the backup, but maybe the starter next year. I'm not sure, but really, man? Come on, dude. Judon. Why? The fans got Matthew Judon. Playoffs. We're in them. 11-6. The division champions of the league. So look at Joe Burrow, whose touchdowns look good. His picks look good, but his yards are dropping still every single season, it seems. Joe Mixon, yards per carry dropped a little bit, but still a good year. Receiving, everyone kind of got involved for once. Ertz needs to be replaced, by the way. He's like a 73 overall. O-line's playing well, though. I don't know if that's just because Joe Burrow is like getting rid of the ball or not early, but pass rush, I can see why Hendrickson's still there. He's, you know, played really well last season. Played, well, and now really well. Von Bell back as a starter, and McPherson not very good. Pearson's not looking too great. All right, playoffs. We lose out the gate. It's the Browns. It's not an easy team, but another straight-up early loss. Like, why? Ooh, Patriots-Giants Super Bowl rematch at Super Bowl 60. 31-13. The Giants win again. I find it pretty hilarious. I gotta be honest. But another season down where they just waste the talent that they got. Not that the Bengals in here really have that much talent, because they're really, once again, doing an awful job in free agency. Just absolutely terribly. But you still got Joe. You still got Jamar, I imagine. You still got Joe Mixon, I imagine, as well. If you can keep those guys intact, I mean, you still have a really good chance every year. But the window's closing. I mean, Joe Burrow probably already got his contract, right? I'd imagine. Unless they tagged him a bunch of times. Even then, the money's still there, you know, being taken. So the cap in general for keeping your players in grade, and some of the ages are getting up there. Like Joe Mixon's got to be getting close to like 28, 29, maybe even, you know, I wouldn't say 30, but close. And they saved some money this time, which I know I said was a good thing, but in this case, considering how much they spend, probably is a bad thing. I can't imagine they got anyone decent with like 25, 30 mil when they were blowing like 10 mil on freaking Judon and like 10 mil on Ogba and all that. But draft recap, obviously another playoff team, so numbers aren't going to look great for their picks. But cornerback, 24. Hey, there you go. Now that is a selection. That's a good one. Middle linebacker, Trey Woodley. I mean, not bad. He's normal, but super fast looking. Another right outside linebacker. How many of these guys do you need? Stop. Draft a lineman. Wheatley, we'll take that running back. Yeah, give me some Gio Bernard vibes. And then wide receiver Tyrell Dawson. Not a bad pick, actually. All the catching traits as well. But you got to draft linemen. Why is it all linebackers? Wide receivers and linebackers only, it seems. Could this team, maybe get some blockers, perhaps? Hey, at least it's realistic, I guess. They do get Niang at right tackle. Ooh, that's a nice signing. Billingsley, that's a good signing. They finally did a thing. Good job, dudes. Defensively, did they add anyone? I mean, I'm kind of glancing. I don't really see anyone. Trey Hendrickson does go to Superstar, but once again, he's an 82 overall now because of regression. Reader needs to be replaced. This is a team that made some good steps this season, but some of their previous mistakes or just ages in general are catching up to them. Welcome to the playoffs. At 8 and 9, we will be not welcome into the playoffs. And by we, I mean, Joe Burrow. But really good season from Joe. Maybe even an X-Factor season. Joe Mixon was improved. Jamar Chase had his, best year since this thing started. Offensive line play was good. Did the defense just suck? Because the team actually looked better than ever. Sacks did kind of downgrade, which would make a lot of sense. They have a new kicker. Really? I get that the game doesn't like to re-sign players, it seems, but really? Okay, I mean, sure. Maybe Joe had a chance at MVP there, but we'll look at the end. If he has any MVPs, we can see. And you can always look back and see when they exactly were, but don't want to spend time on something that isn't crazy likely. It wasn't guaranteed. It was a good year, but not guaranteed. As the Cowboys win the bowl over the Jaguars. Interesting. The overalls here are actually all right. They have some money, depending on who they can re-sign and decide, assuming they are re-signing the correct guys. I'd still say they have a chance, right? 60 mil is a lot of money in cap. And once again, I assume they would have re-signed guys like Burrow or Chase the moment they had a chance. So I can't imagine that those are crazy expensive contracts they needed to make there near the end. But we'll see. We'll see what the team looks like after the draft. So for the draft, they go with yet another wide receiver. Casey Charles got the traits going for himself. Maybe he's a good player, but I just don't understand why. New running back, I assume Joe Mixon is kind of on that, cusp of retirement, or maybe they even just let him go. Yet another wide receiver. Tight end, DT, right tackle. Can we draft some linemen, please? But hey, maybe the Bengals signed some linemen in free agency. You never know. Maybe, perhaps. Let's see if they did it. Did they do it? Did they? Why is it so slow? So we still see Higgins. We see Chase Bruton. They signed this guy. How many wide receivers do you need? Oh my, with this team, dude. But yeah, Burrow and Jamar Chase, both X factors now. Hendrickson, did they even, I was about to say, did they not even use Wright? Wright really should start, especially after last season from Hendrickson. Of course, Gary is now number 1 because of Woozier is regressed hard. But yeah, this doesn't look like a playoff team, man. Playoffs and back in them with a bye week. Okay, I mean, once again, I don't have a horse in the race. I really don't. But, it's kind of a weird one to win, make it to the playoffs and get the bye week after missing. But yeah, I mean, once again, I don't have a horse in the race. I'm just kind of interested. But Joe Mixon, number 3 for yards and rushing. Joe Burrow with the number 1 touchdowns. Good pick, good low picks, I suppose. Yards are still good, just lower than others. Mixon, great season. Higgins, interesting stuff. Blocking, still good despite having a bad line. I guess maybe they found the magic formula. You get to have a good team forever if you just don't pay attention to linemen. I don't know how that works, but I guess. Sure. But here it is, the best chance to win the Super Bowl since, well, they won the Super Bowl, kind of. Some other teams were okay, but the Browns, what does it matter? Who even? Yeah, what's even the point? What's even the point, damn it? Every time we face them, they freaking take our spot, and then what do? Nothing. They miss the Super Bowl anyways. Why? Okay, I don't really have a freaking horse in that race either, for sure. Oh, we forgot about that. A close game, at least, I suppose, but let's take a quick look at the performances. Burrow was good, but did throw that interception, and then Mixon wasn't as good as Chubb. It just kind of looks like they outplayed us, to be honest. What about the sack totals? I mean, they're just, I don't know, I guess they somehow just beat us. Didn't really look that good either, to be honest. Running back, pick 28, Keontae Peters. I mean, you already had a good running back, but sure, I guess. I mean, they have multiple good running backs, though, don't they? Like, they still have Mixon, I imagine. Okay, superstar, but they have Mixon, I imagine, and then that other running back they got was good, no? Okay, 6'5" overall middle linebacker, yikes. Cornerback, nope, he sucks. He's tall, but slow. Yikes, dude. These drafts, just leave, Joe. Joe, leave. I know what this is going to turn into. It's not going to go better. It's not going to get better from here. Just leave, dude. Once Jamar leaves, or if you can get Jamar to, join you, yeah, do it, dude. You need to get the hell out of here. Joe Mixon, the 90 overall, still averaging like a 5 yards per carry. Well, hey, still here. What do you know? Crazy. Who's this guy? 27 years old, 83 overall. They've done a thing. Nice. Higgins also superstar, obviously. Who's this? Did they go for another random wide receiver from free agency? Good player, but you don't need him. Stop. Please, someone help these guys. They're literally losing it. Jesse Bates is dropping, by the way. Noah Igbenogany, 28 years old. The fact that he's 28 is just shocking. Like, he's so old now, even though he started at 20. Joe Burrow is now 31, so his progression years are kind of a little bit behind him, I suppose, but screw it. Another year. Hey, they're back in the playoffs. See if they can actually do something with this time. Joe Burrow, number 2 for yards. Touchdowns are lacking a little bit, but number two, fair enough to still be up there. No regression, required or anything like that. Good numbers for pretty much everyone in the receiving group. Offensive line, the tackles were bad, which is ironic because those are the 2 good positions at the spot. Delgado out of nowhere, though. Hey, look at these sack totals. Not bad. The rest, though, not great. McPherson is back. How do they have Evan McPherson still? I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, how do they get him back? Okay, sure. But the Patriots knocked them out recently enough. Will they do it again? They don't, but it's the Chiefs who are insanely good. And, yeah, as expected, kind of lost that one. A lot of cap space. Can the team maybe actually sign some guys, or maybe they actually have to pay Burrow? Let me look. I'd still say you keep Burrow again, but it is Madden Sim. You just never know. 95 overall to some teams isn't good enough. I don't know why, but sometimes it's not. Let's take a look at the contract. How many years he's got on there? And it is the last year, so maybe that's why. Yeah, that's probably why they have a lot of money. Are they letting him go? Like, what's this? Like, they gave him a long-term deal, obviously, but let's see. Chiefs versus the Vikings of all teams. There's no way the Vikings win a Super Bowl. It's just impossible. Yeah, just 0-5 now. Nice. Let's see. Are we even following the Cincinnati Bengals anymore? Okay, hurry. Come on. Let's do it. Hey, another cornerback, Tyrese Reese. A lot of Reese there, but no dev of hidden. And 23 years old out the gate. Not great. Definitely not great. This guy not really needed unless they go the left end, which makes no sense. But yeah, this is some of the worst drafting I've seen from any AI in like any series ever. I mean, this is just awful. I mean, normally you see a couple of studs here and there, but really outside of the first draft and then that corner they took, they've all kind of sucked. And glad they grabbed all those running backs because Joe Mixon's still the starter around here. It's really smart of them. Elijah Vera Tucker. I know he's like older, but that's a good signing. Okay, I mean, they're adding a little bit of talent here and there. Logan Wilson needs to be replaced too. Gary goes to superstar. That is huge for this team. 25 years old, insanely fast. He wasn't that fast to start, though, was he? He was fast, but not that fast. Jessie Bates probably has one good elite season left in him. I don't know if there's enough talent on that defense, though. I really don't, but that's really not something we can control anyways. All right, headed to the playoffs. Come on, Cincy. Did an okay job in the offseason, but not in the draft, which is part of the offseason. But the Bengals versus the Steelers, the top two in the division, facing off against one another. Quarterbacks are very interesting names, but receivers, look how low the numbers are. Thibodeau looking pretty good, though. Joe Burrow, the touchdowns are down. The yards aren't great. Mixon's still playing pretty well at his age. Jamar, how old is he now? 29, 30? 29? Not bad. Higgins is okay. Offensive line seems to be doing worse as they get better. I mean, I know comparatively. Ooh, look at these numbers. But comparatively to like last season, not bad. But like in general, some of the earlier seasons we had like, I think the highest number was like 7 allowed with like really bad players. And they just keep letting McPherson go. Could you stop, please? Thank you, if you don't mind. The Steelers, you got to beat this team if you want to get back to the Super Bowl. I mean, literally and figuratively, as in they're not that tough of a team. If you can't beat the Steelers, once again, it's a division rival. I get it. Well, I guess they made the Super Bowl. Then what can you know? It's still like, even though they made the Super Bowl, it's still kind of like, you got to beat that team. They're not that good. But apparently either is this team. But Joe Mixon, I mean, his times are, his days are numbered, it seems. 27-30. Joe Burrow, I mean, kind of getting outplayed by some random Douglas fella. I just don't get it. I mean, Joe Mixon was pretty bad. Jamar Chase was still really good. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. Left outside linebacker, once again, I don't really know what the team is looking like, but it's not a bad pick, I suppose. We've seen a lot worse from this team as of recently. Wait a minute. Did they get one of those sneaky little centers? They did! Oh, look at you guys drafting somewhat all right for once, even though you drafted yet another running back in the first 3 rounds. This team should not be drafting running back in the first 3 rounds. We've been over this. Joe Mixon may even still be the starter for all we know. And yeah, here you are still drafting him. Stop, please. Let's take a look. I swear if he is. Okay, he's not. At least they're finally using Peters, but yeah, still. Took a long, long time, but at least Joe Mixon, he had a great career, and he at least won a Super Bowl with us, and I'm sorry, Mr. Stewart. I don't know what they paid you, but Carter's the guy. He's the long-term guy. We're not messing around there. And they drafted yet another pass rusher when they didn't need one. J.C. Jackson's still in the league. It's kind of insane. Jessie Bates is okay, but not great, obviously. And then who's this? Asamoah. A lot of 29-year-old older fellas, but once again, a lot worse we have seen. So Artie Johnson will be the right end, I guess. I don't know who's looking to be replaced the quickest, but the game, once again, can't decide or differentiate between coverage linebackers and edge rushers, or, just edge rushers in general. So keep drafting outside linebacker that are edge because they need left out, and the game won't fix itself because it's not in the code, which is why you got to pay like guys like Cole Holcomb like 10 to 15, maybe even 20 mil sometimes, just because, they think he's an edge rusher, which he's obviously not. Playoffs, it's an all right team. The game thinks this, seems to think so as well, as Joe Burrow's the number 3 quarterback for yards. Number 1, he might have actually won MVP here. Pretty good looking completion percentage as well, and a lot of the like OGs of the league might be regressing or just out of the league in general. Number 2, no shot. But 3rd in yards, 1st in touchdowns. We haven't had a reason to regress him, so I'm not going to. Obviously, Jamar Chase killed it. Garrett Wilson was good. T. Higgins 1 yard off of 1,000. It's kind of harsh. Offensive line, pretty good numbers actually. Defensively, sack totals 14. This man's kind of balling out. Jeremy Wright 7. Yes, pick total's kind of low because everyone pretty much in the secondary / linebacker spot is kind of if. But yeah, he looked at the MVP. It wasn't Joe. It's pretty much the only award we had a chance at. Maybe D-line, but once again, doesn't really change the fact anyways. But the Steelers again. This time we're at home though, and this time we see a victory. The Jaguars, who were just recently in the Super Bowl now, are going to lose again. well, not again, but, they're going to lose to us. The Bills, 8-9. We beat them. And the Vikings, who have already been in the Super Bowl and lost, will be a team we see up close and personal in the Super Bowl. All right, the Bengals are back. They at least made another trip. It's all we can ask for, right? Henry, really? Actually, no, this is a different class. I was about to say, because Henry, the last time I took 202, it was like 60 overall normal. Getting to the X Factor is pretty impressive. Just to have him be a starter on a team would be really surprising. But let's see it. The Vikings, are they going to go 0-6 in Super Bowls? No shot, right? 14-0. It's happening. It is absolutely happening. The Bengals are up 24-0. You just can't come back from that. It's impossible. There's no chance. This game's over. 31-14, 38-14, and 38-28. Look like an interception. Wonder who their quarterback is. They lose by 10. They put up a good fight in the end, but not good enough, damn it, as the Bengals are Super Bowl champions again. Joe Burrow has 2 rings. It was starting to look a little Aaron Rodgers-y there, and obviously he still has a chance to put up more, as the team is still looking good right now. And obviously he still has some years left in him, I would imagine. Don't know what his throw power is, but it's got to be pretty decent, I would say so. But yeah, his progression hasn't gone super well, but overall he's still got at least 5 years left in him, I'd imagine. The question is, will it be with this team, though? I'm surprised he even stuck it out as long as he did. I would have, after that second, once it got, what it was like, maybe he would have been 31, maybe, I think, around 31, 32. I would have been like, we kind of suck in the draft, so I'm out of here. But, yeah, he wins another ring, has all the money in the world. He's on top of the world yet again. And since he takes it, Jordan Love is the quarterback for the Vikings. Fair enough. Really bad performance from him, though. Peters really has not been a good running back, but ultimately it doesn't really matter because they still win anyways. Sack totals, 3 for Zion has been killing it, dude. Interceptions, a couple interceptions for some of the youngsters. Blackwell has been so bad, dude. He may be the worst, Super Bowl winning kicker ever. Not that he, won the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? Like, a kicker that's won the Super Bowl in his career. He might be one of the worst. He's so tragic. But yeah, like I said, another Super Bowl victory. The Vikings lose again. Another Super Bowl loss for the Vikings. I mean, it's not quite as bad as, the Lions or the Jets when it comes to, just years of badness and sadness. But as far as all time, pretty up there, right? I mean, it's, that whole love, you'd rather have loved and lost than to not have loved at all. I mean, that's kind of what they're on the bad side of that. All right, draft recap. Let's see what happened. Ooh, a couple of okay overalls. 77 overall. Ooh, hidden development trait. Ooh, strong and fast. I kind of want to see what his dev is, actually. Normally I'm not super intrigued, but this time just a little bit. He is a star development trait player. Middle linebacker, a position of definite need. Chris Means. Hopefully he means business. He's actually insane. Super fast, good catching, pretty good jumping for a rookie, and overall good. They grab another cornerback, Sammy Pryor. Bad zone, but all right overall. Strong safety, Malik Hardy. They needed a safety as well. They got one. He's slow as hell, but still is Madden. It probably doesn't matter. I mean, they actually did all right for themselves. And a hidden corner. All right, that's a good draft. Definitely a good one. All right, so the wide receiving room definitely got worse as it's Deontay Johnson at number 2 now. At least they still have Billingsley. I don't know who the hell this guy is. I don't know why they felt the need to grab him, but sure. Offensive line's actually all right, which is interesting. Running back dev'd up, even though he's kind of trash. X Factor for the left end. That's kind of clutch because he's like 30, so they might be able to keep him good for long enough. Number 30, I thought I put him at 53. Oh my god, how the hell is he even playing well with that number? But yeah, it's an okay team. They've got some potential. Means is not a bad guy. I mean, maybe he's a terrible guy. Maybe he kicks cats or something. I don't know, but it's an okay team. They just won the Super Bowl. I don't know. A lot of the teams overalls can't be that great, but at least they had a good draft, I suppose. Going in the right direction that way. Even though it's about damn time. It's a little late, a little overdue, to be honest. 13 and 4. I mean, like I said, I guess there is a lot of teams that are also not super great in overall, but that's a little weird, right? You know, to be like an 82 overall start and then to get here. Jamar Chase is still that dude. Obviously, Joe Burrow is still that dude. Offensive line, left tackle Jonah Williams. Maybe he's nearing the end of his career too. The ends have been a little inconsistent, but they've been good. The rookie went off, even though he was the number 2. Bishop, finally some decent kicking. Joe Burrow, would he have been MVP? He was. I don't know if that's his only MVP. Oh, did Joe Burrow start to like regress a little bit? Okay, that's not good, but you know, he's kind of getting up there in age, so it kind of makes sense. But chance for a back-to-back. Or was it a back-to-back? It doesn't matter. They don't win it anyways. I can't remember if there was like an in-between or not. No, I think it was. It would have been back-to-back or a chance of back-to-back. But the Giants back in it. The Jaguars back in it. And the Super Bowl winner is the Jags. They get a chance this time, and they do it. Let's go to the proper re-signing time so we can see regressions and all that. But let's kind of see where Joe Burrow stands. Jamar Chase is nearing the end of his career too. More Jamar than Joe, but still. 78 mil as well. Maybe it is time for some of these guys to be re-signed on top of it. But Joe Burrow, 91 overall. He's 35 now, so you can obviously see that the regression, it makes sense. It's kind of fair. 2 to deep, 2 to medium, 2 to short, 1 to injury, 3 to awareness dropped. Overall, still pretty good. Obviously, the throw power is a little bit low in general from him to start. Jamar Chase is 31 now, 32 years old, but he dropped down to a 91 overall. What did he lose? Jeez, that's harsh. How good is he? He's got to be pretty good. Yeah, short route sucks, but still good, which is ironic because short route should probably be his highest route upgrade, but they didn't upgrade him for that, I guess. Defensively, Jesse Bates is pretty much done here. Let's actually take a look at some of these careers before, it's too late. Don't need to worry about Joe yet, but obviously we have to go past him to look anyway, so might as well. But Joe, 451 touchdowns, 122 picks, 69% completion percentage, career rating of 111.2, 88 was his longest. 52,000 yards rushing. Didn't get like a mix-in. It's pretty good, but I wouldn't imagine it was going to be like something crazy good. Chase, though, chasing some record books here, obviously. Looking pretty damn nuts. And then Jesse Bates, I wanted to see. 24 picks. Only 1 sack. 16 tackles. I know he's a deep safety, but just the course of his career, especially in Madden. All these seasons long, gone. I guess not, though. But let's go to the draft. Also, gotta, even though if Joe was here, I would imagine it would have been like a 4-year deal when they signed him. So maybe it's back to him needing another contract or very close to. They go guard. She's awful. I guess maybe there is a reason why they don't go lineman. They go with another running back. Okay, sweet. Freaking bad Hillis, I guess. Michael McPhee, not great. Pretty bad draft. Shocker. But yeah, you can see some of these guys are on their last legs here. It's Kadarius Toney, 75 overall. Still insanely fast, but okay, sure, if you will, I guess. Kennard's now left tackle, I assume. That means that Jonah Williams retired on us. Oakley, who is this? He's like more of a DT, I guess. I'm not really sure what the plan is here, but I guess not a bad player. He's pretty good. He's 26. It's costed him a lot, I'd imagine, but fair enough. Not bad. Means also went up to superstar, which is pretty cool. Put him at right outside linebacker. But yeah, okay. I guess that's a good move for once. And the Bengals miss a bunch of money as well, so missing out on key decisions on top of it. And Joe Burrow, I think, has to go down a superstar. That was a really bad year for him. Once again, the players around him kind of, not helping him too much, but that's a very bad year for Joe, just in general. A little surprised to see him drop that far. I mean, he's a 91 overall, so he's not, perfect anyways, but that's pretty bad. Like that, I don't even know where that would place him in the, was that say 30th? 36 in passer rating. You got to assume there's probably 15 guys there, maybe 10 guys there that count but not count. Let's see where he placed in rating. So in passer rating, he was number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, yeah. He's got to drop Dev. He was literally bottom like 10 in the league. Bottom like 7 or 8 in the league for passer rate. I mean, there's like, you have to. Like, you can't be that bad as an X factor and not lose your Dev. Like, you just can't, simply put. Eagles-Chargers. What an interesting battle as the Eagles win the Super Bowl. Interesting. 83 overall. Think the regressions would have hit. So whatever we see is what we have, or what you get, I guess. Joe didn't really drop that far, but he will be dropping down to Superstar. It's only fair, rather than just turning regression on in general and having a bunch of different guys across the entire league, and including this team dropping Dev. We're just going to manually do it. Jamar Chase hasn't really done anything to deserve a Dev drop, even though his rating's dropping very fast because of his age. Could see Joe with, because he's Superstar now, maybe even retire like the same time as Jamar, which would be super freaking cute, and I would just love it. It is what it is. Means is a very good linebacker, but he's an outside linebacker, so will they even pay him? I don't know. But yeah, another season, assuming that 86 mil doesn't have to go to re-signing Joe and Jamar, and they decide not to for some reason. Jamar would be one of those guys you would kind of see maybe hit free agency. They so far haven't, which is pretty cool, but maybe. I mean, that kind of seems like maybe they paid Joe, but not Jamar. I don't know if he needed a contract or not, but okay, fair enough. I mean, if I was Joe, I'd be like, I'm walking. If you leave, you get rid of him, I'm out. Hey, they go cornerback. He's normal, but this is a good pick. This is a very good pick. High catching, great hit power, good speed, good size, good youth, great jumping. Another running back for whatever reason, also normal. Another cornerback, but, decently fast. Once again, maybe they needed it. Cornerback isn't like the best thing, and our number one cornerback, that Superstar, is actually regressing, so I suppose it is time for a little bit of an overhaul at that position, unless they grabbed it in free agency, because they did seem to spend like 30, 40 mil in free agency, so we'll see what they did there. We won't see. I lied. All right, so Peters, 94 overall, is still pretty good in age. Good overall player. Trucking would be nice to see him improve there, but O-line is a position this team needs to work on, because it's just, they're back in that. Well, I guess 85, 86, 86, 84, but some ages getting up there. Jerry Jeudy, can we stop with the, past their prime players and just, actually do something? Now when they need to draft wide receiver, they're deciding not to, which is just so annoying, but nothing. Where the hell did their money go? Like I said, they spent 30 mil in free agency. Was it backups? I don't freaking know. Actually, no, this was the guy they drafted, who's already 30. It's insane. But, okay, fair enough, I guess. Playoffs. Come on. 8-9, dude. This team is past its prime. It's over. It's a new era around here. Joe Burrow, good enough to keep Superstar for sure. Would he have been good enough to get back to X Factor? I don't know. Jamar Chase is still playing at a high level. Don't care about the O-line, to be honest. Sorry, not sorry. Sack total Zion has just been killing it. But I suppose let's move on to the offseason. Once again, there should still be some more years left in Joe and Jamar, but no guarantees. No guarantees. Sometimes when you're such a good overall, you retire in the game before your overall is just poopy. As the Vikings finally win one. Nice. Congrats, man. But let's take a look at the career stats of these two greats. As Joe Burrow, 500-plus touchdowns, gets that career passer rating down a little bit. Same with completion percentage, but still overall good. And then Jamar Chase, where does that rank all time? It's got to be up there, right? Might be some in Madden real numbers here as well. But yeah, Jamar Chase, 4th all time. Justin Jefferson's up there too, though. Rushing, no one really cares, to be honest. Joe Mixon was number 3 all time. Oh my, sheesh. Burrow at number, what is that, 6? Number 6. And then for yards, a lot lower, because he actually had a couple of iffy seasons in there, but still pretty good. Still pretty good. And we'll see if they're even Bengals anymore, or if they're even in the league anymore. I don't know. Maybe Jamar would be gone, but we at least got to take a look at those stats one last time if they are. All right, here's the offense. And Joe is gone, but I can't imagine that was a retirement. But Jamar is still here. It's still free agency week 1, so we'll take a look at week 2. Maybe they re-sign him. I don't know, but interesting. No, they have a bunch of money and they don't want to sign anyone. You can see they spent like $8 million. That was it. Just 8. Is this their quarterback? Junior Brown. It just sounds like a meme name. I mean, you could have at least given him one more year together, as Jamar looks like he's probably going to retire after this year, potentially. Okay, I mean, let's take a look around the league. Where's me Burrow? Who's the fastest in the league? I would assume Lamar's still here somewhere. Oh, that's okay. That's running back. I'm always curious, right? Lamar is a little low, but still good where he, is. A lot of fast quarterbacks, though. But yeah, let's see Joe Burrow. Let's see the man, Joe Burrow. Age. Oh, my. Look at these ages. Did he actually retire? Or did he just not get signed, maybe? To be fair, that does happen, actually, sometimes where you just don't get a guy signed after, a couple of freaking times. But let's go to the draft. If he's not signed by the draft, then he did maybe retire. But I don't imagine that is what happened. I think there's either not re-signed, no one signed him, or it was just taking a little bit for him to actually accept an offer. No way he actually retired. Joe is a Patriot, and they must have some winning ways because his progression or his morale is up. His number is also incorrect, but we'll probably fix that. But we're headed to New England, who have a pretty much similar situation across the board as the Bengals anyways. But all right, if you say so. The draft. The Patriots are already looking miles better than the Bengals for drafting. Brink, okay, I mean, looks pretty good. I wouldn't say maybe miles, but, that safety does look pretty sick. Maybe got a little excited. But Joe, 89 overall. Burrow, not that bad of a regression, to be honest. Is going to be taking the helm for the New England Patriots. But it doesn't really matter too much because the Patriots still come very far from making the playoffs or anything like that. Joe Burrow probably does deserve to drop down a star after that, but I'm not going to judge, all right? I'm not going to judge. But let's take a quick look at how, I don't really care how much, how Jamar Chase technically did, but, in general, it's nice to see the total numbers. That's got to move him up in the top 3, I'd say, all time for yards, but insane. Is that going to be his last year, I wonder? But let's go to the Super Bowl, see who's in it. If it's the Bengals, that would be such a heartbreaker. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? No shot. No shot. Oh my. How? How does that? That is pain, dude. That would be some pain. Oh my Lord. Jamar Chase wins 3 rings while Joe wins 2. I have to imagine, I don't know who they replaced him with. We'll take a look, but if he's an older quarterback, I have to imagine it was Joe's doing for him to leave, right? I mean, how much was this guy? Maybe not. I don't know, dude. I don't even understand how that guy wins it, but that is harsh. This is the world we live in, kids. Be prepared to be let down. And Joe Burrow's gone again. I imagine it's going to be, he's in free agency again, but we'll see. And I also wonder if Jamar retired. I'd have to think he did. There's a good chance he did, at least. And he didn't, I don't think. Oh, Lord, Joe. It is gone downhill, hasn't it? Jesus. Jamar Chase, don't know if he's still a Bengal. Fair enough. An even worse situation. He's got a good right tackle. That's kind of it. The draft for them wasn't really spectacular. They do have a really good defense, though. Cortez Glover. Defense looks pretty damn good, obviously, but yeah, their offense is iffy, but maybe that's what they want. They're like, hey, Joe can carry us. The defense can do the rest. I don't know, but we'll find out. Another season for him. Another season for Jamar to maybe even pass Jerry Rice, perhaps. We get very close. I'd say he's going to retire a half a season short, but we'll see. And wherever Joe goes, doesn't really matter because Joe is, really good season, actually. Maybe even goes to X Factor again, but Joe's teams, not really looking super great, obviously. Another failed season for him. Not really much to look at there, but take a quick look at the stats in case he retires suddenly. And then obviously let's take a look at Mr. Jamar Chase's stats in case he also retires suddenly. 19-141. It seemed like he had a really bad year, actually, but where does that put him all time again? Let's see where he is. Yards, number 2. Yeah, he's not passing. He's not. Maybe touchdowns, but he's not passing Jerry Rice for freaking yards. That is just too many. Jesus, that guy's a nutcase. As the Saints beat the Jets for the Super Bowl, let's see if Mr. Burrow is still here. And if he is, what overall he is. And if he's even going to be on the Lions, I suppose. Still here is in the league, obviously. Joe Burrow's an X factor, but he's an 82 overall, so yeah, I mean, he's still got good ratings, but how old is he? 38? 39, and he's an 82 overall. This has got to be his last year. And Jamar, we're going to take a look at, but I imagine Jamar is gone as well. Oh, Zion retired, but I think Jamar is still here. But the question is, like, what overall is he in? Is he even starting anymore? I don't know. Jamar's still in Cincy, but I don't think I've seen Joe Burrow starting anywhere. So we'll have to take a look. Maybe he's in free agency still. Somebody will grab him. I don't know, but I don't think he was signed in free agency. He is in free agency, and he has first one free still. Oh, no. Joe Burrow's not going to be signed, is he? Oh, come on, Bengals. Just do it. Bring him back to Chase for one more year, dude. It's already bad enough that he missed the Super Bowl. He could have had 3 rings, maybe even more. Is he still in free agency? Somebody had to sign him, even as a backup, right? He's still in there. Well, I mean, I guess that's it for Joe. Joe Burrow's done, but I mean, we might as well do one final season with Jamar Chase because he's gone after this year as well. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase going to be retiring probably literally the same year, which is insane. So Joe Burrow retires, but I don't know if Jamar Chase does. It doesn't show he did, but like, surely he's not playing anymore, right? Is he still on the team? What is this? No shot he's still around. I don't see him, but I have to imagine. I don't know. Let's just sim to next season and look for oldest player, I guess. Maybe just in free agency. Yeah, I think it was just one of those glitches. I looked in free agency, looked here, and there's just no Jamar Chase to be found. But let's take a look at the record books. Should see some names there for the wrong thing. For all time, obviously career. Joe Burrow just barely slipped on the page for yardage, but still only 69K, which is good. But for Madden sense, I mean, you can see there's Mahomes is there. He might even still be in the league. Herbert, Josh Allen, Lawrence, Corral. I mean, all those guys are there. Touchdowns, he did get to 3rd, though. I will say Mahomes number 1, but got to number 3 overall. As far as rush yards go, Joe Mixon, all-time, 21,405, which is insane. Touchdowns, Jonathan Taylor. Yards, Jamar Chase, number 2 all-time, 20,000 plus. And number 2 all-time with 191. I would have tried to get 9 more touchdowns. It's a hit on 200, perfectly. But yeah, that is going to be the career simulation of Joe Burrow. And I suppose, since we looked all the way through, Jamar Chase. If you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like, subscribe for new. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel, PKR Plays, and then twitch.tv/Jeromepkr for streams. Once again, there should be one tonight around 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. But it's a Friday night, like I said, so anything can happen. I might get a little loose, a little wild. I might put some butter on my crackers, and, who knows what happens there. I don't know what the hell I'm even talking about here, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. Should be 2 tomorrow, maybe even 2 on Sunday. But until next video, see ya!